Welcome to Service Center Metals.
We have two plants, extrusion and compact remelt.
Safety is our top priority, and as a contractor working for us, following the guidelines in this video will help you work safer in both of our plants.
And to ensure your safety while you're here, you'll be assigned a safety supervisor.
This safety supervisor, most likely the person who hired you, can answer all your questions around safety guidelines and rules that you'll see in this video.
Now for starters, we're going to review 5 things you need to know before beginning your work at Service Center Metals.
Number 1, you'll need to wear personal protective equipment in both of our plants.
In the extrusion plant, you need steel-toe safety shoes, eye protection, and hearing protection.
In the compact remelt plant, you'll need steel-toe safety shoes, eye protection, and ear protection.
And in the hot zone near the melting furnace and the casting line, you also need a hard hat, flame-retardant clothing.
We also recommend you wear gloves here at SCM to protect your hand.
Number 2, prior to starting your work at SCM, you must provide OSHA-compliant safety data sheets for all materials you plan to bring on site.
These documents, formerly called material safety data sheets, provide information about the hazards of the materials you'll be working with and how to safely handle them.
You can either email or give printed copies to the safety supervisor. And remember, safety data sheets are required before your first day of work at SCM.
Number 3, before operating equipment here, you must provide proof that you've been trained and certified to safely operate that equipment.
Do not operate any of SCM overhead cranes without prior permission from the safety supervisor.
Number 4, any tools you bring on site must be safe and fit for use.
SCM has the right to inspect your tools while you're working here, and
if we find anything that looks unsafe, we'll ask you to stop your work, remove the unsafe tool from the premises, and replace it before continuing work.
Number 5, to prevent explosions in our compact remelt plant, any metal container which contains liquid is strictly prohibited in SCM property.
Specifically, this includes aluminum cans, disposable butane big lighter,
and aerosol spray cans.
Now it's time to give you some insight into how we work safely in both of our plants.
Here at SCM, we follow Safe Start principles, and we watch each other's backs.
Our Safe Start training has taught us that we can prevent injuries to ourselves and others by focusing on behavior and self-triggering on states like:
am I fatigued? Am I rushing?
Am I complacent?
Or am I frustrated? Because if I'm rushing, frustrated, complacent, or fatigued, I'm more likely to commit a critical error, like
Not having my eyes on task.
not having my mind on my task, putting myself and others in the line of fire, or losing my balance, traction, or grip.
And any one of these critical errors can lead to an injury to me, one of my team members, or even you while you're working here.
So while you're here working at SCM, focus on your behavior.
Hey, don't be surprised if one of our team members asks for you to rate your state, because we'll be watching your back too.
While working at SCM, you must also respect the aluminum.
Aluminum is deceptive and dangerous because it can cut or burn you when you least expect it. So,
Do not touch any aluminum in either of our plants.
In our compact remelt plant, stay clear of liquid molten aluminum at all times.
Now it's time to discuss specific safety rules at Service Center Metals.
Excellent housekeeping is the cornerstone of our safety program.
so you must keep your work area clean and organized at all times.
pay particular attention to anything that might create a trip or fall hazard. Create a safe work zone by using safety cones to protect yourself from nearby mobile equipment. Any open pits or trenches should be surrounded by yellow caution tape to prevent fall injuries.
And if your work involves welding, you must erect a safety screen to protect the eyesight of those around you.
Service Center Metals has specific lockout tagout procedures that you must follow.
All sources of energy, water, electrical, compressed air, hydraulic, need to be de-energized before working on any of the equipment.
Consult your safety supervisor for specific lockout tagout procedures in your work area.
If your work requires you to work more than 6 feet above the floor,
You must wear an OSHA-approved safety harness and be tied off to a permanent structure.
And if you're working on a man lift and there's no permanent structure nearby, you must be tied off to the railing on the working platform.
SCM has 13 permit required confined spaces, 6 in extrusion, 7 in a compact remelt.
Prior to entering any of these spaces, you must complete a confined space entry permit. review it with your safety supervisor and get his approval to proceed.
For your information, we keep all safety data sheets, including the ones you submitted before your work, on our company's internal website.
Your safety supervisor will show you how to access our online safety data sheets from any computer in both of our plants.
Finally, when working in either of our plants, do not bypass any safeties on our equipment.
Without prior written approval from the safety supervisor.
This includes physical guards or automated sensors.
And the same is true for any utility system, electrical, hydraulic, water, or compressed air.
Do not make any changes to any of these systems without prior written approval from your safety supervisor.
If you're injured while working at SCM at any time, you must report the injury to your safety supervisor immediately.
There are no exceptions to this rule. No matter how minor your injury, you stop work and report it right away.
To confirm that you've watched this video and you know how to work safely at Service Center Metals, your safety supervisor will ask you to sign an acknowledgement form before you begin your work.
Don't be afraid to ask questions before you sign this form.
We'll be glad to provide you any additional safety information you need. Again, welcome to Service Center Metals and
work safe.